All right, so we're gonna do some seated hamstring curl. Hypertrophy mindset. All right, so we're gonna go through some of the cues that I use, preset, intra-set, and post-set for seated hamstring curls. All right, so preset with the seated hamstring curl, you're flexed at the hips and your knee is in extension, so your hamstring is gonna be fully lengthened. So this is typically a movement that I do towards the end of my workouts because I'll start with movements where the hamstring is fully shortened to get that mind-muscle connection going. So with this machine, you can load different ranges of motion. If you don't have a machine like this, that sucks. Switch gyms. No, if you don't have a machine like this, you can still focus on that end range of motion. So let's jump into a set. All right, so intra-set, the biggest thing is gonna be stabilizing yourself. So you really wanna stabilize your hips, so pull yourself down in, lock the hips in. You don't want your hips to be shooting up or moving side to side at all. The next thing with machines is you wanna be lined up with the axis of rotation. So you want your knee joint, which is like a hinge joint, to be lined up with that axis of rotation. So if you can see that, my knees are pretty much lined up right there. Next, you're gonna wanna make sure that you lift the stack off. Your starting position, the stack should already be lifted off. So you can see my starting position is gonna be right here, and the stack is already lifted off and there's tension on my hamstrings. It's just gonna make it 10 times easier for you to feel the tension in your hamstrings if you're already lifted off. So to initiate the movement, I really want you guys to think about driving your quads up through this pad. So you've already lifted off the stack. The next thing you're gonna do is think about driving up through the pad and flex your hamstrings. So don't think about pulling the weight down, just think about driving up and flexing your hamstrings. And then the last cue is just try to touch your heels to your butt. So once I've flexed my hamstrings and I get to like this point, now I'm thinking about just getting my heels to my butt. Boom, to kind of finish out the movement. All right, so post-set, some things to think about. If you're not feeling it in your hamstrings, what I can recommend is go lighter because your hamstrings probably aren't as strong as you think they are. So go lighter and really get that mind-muscle connection going. The other thing you can do is jump on the lying leg curl and really focus on the end range, that shortened range of motion. Really get that mind-muscle connection going and then come to this, the seated hamstring curl, because it'll be easier for you to get that mind-muscle connection to feel your hamstrings working if you do those first. And lastly, some intensification methods that I like to use specifically for seated hamstring curl are doing partials in a specific range of motion. So doing partials of just the lengthen phase, just the lengthen portion, or doing full reps and then just doing partials of the shortened range. I also really like doing tempoed sets. So like you could do pauses at the bottom or pauses at in the lengthen range. And obviously like drop sets are brutal for these as well. All right, so that's the seated leg curl. Hopefully you guys pick up one or two cues that kind of help you feel your hamstrings a little bit more. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next week. Peace. All right, so intra-set, the most important. Boom.